welcome to the Dan McShane Coaches Show here on WBCB as we get you set for high school football tonight. It's homecoming for the Pennsbury Falcons as they take on the Harry S. Truman Tigers. Big game tonight, Coach, and you guys now on a roll, 3 straight wins, 3-3. Must be feeling a little different atmosphere, a little more optimism.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to get some W's, and we realize that the opponents are getting basically we've got playoff games going forward. We're going to find out what we're made of.
You guys defeated last week 49-13 the Ben Salem Owls, and interesting that this was the second game on the schedule that was postponed due to field conditions. This time it was Falcon Field, which was unplayable. What are the field conditions right now at Falcon Field, and what are you expecting for tonight's game?
We hear they're working hard and pulling it together, and we were on the practice fields yesterday, and they don't put a whole lot of work into that, but they were okay. And so it's been like the Holy Land. We got to stay off that stadium field, and they're working on it. Kyle Rogers and his crew, and they worked their butts off, and I'm sure they'll have it ready to go.
I mean, what was it like last week as you guys were getting ready to play Friday night, unable to get the game going? It must have been frustrating. Were there voices saying, look, let's play this game, or was everybody kind of unanimous in that decision?
Yeah, well, if you're a kid, you grow up and you'll probably play a couple games in the mud, and you're like, I want to play in the mud.
Yeah.
And, but I think there's a lot of financial issues when you start to tear up your field, and all of a sudden you're doing a $5,000 resod job, and also I'm sure they came into it, but we wanted to play. Yeah, it's old school football, and that's kind of what we do up here at Pennsbury. And we don't want to run the ball and ground run whether it's wet or snowy or whatever. So we're going to try to play the game.
So you guys winning over Ben Salem last week, 49-13, a big victory for you. Talk a little bit about that game. What allowed you guys to put them in the mercy rule?
Well, as impressive as it sounds, we're still majorly concerned about falling behind again 7-0. And it's been a big, starting slow on both sides of the ball. So when we start slow this week, they might have 21 points on the board. So, but yeah, we got a lot of access to easy throws and easy runs, and and once we kind of got our run fits a little bit better, we kind of stopped, knocked them down pretty good in the run game, and I think they hit a play action pass, which we kind of just didn't get somebody covered. But feeling good about where we're headed.
I mean, these types of slow starts, hard to put your finger on what's going on. Any thoughts as to why you guys aren't firing right from the start?
Yeah, I mentioned it before. I think about coming out of the locker room maybe a couple weeks ago and saying, "Man, are we warming up too soon, too late?" I think my theory now is we're going against pretty unique style of offenses that scout teams. It's hard to get your scout team to kind of run at that type of as effectively. So. And maybe it takes a little while for our defense to kind of get cued into, this is the speed we're going at, this is the specific offense, as opposed to kind of, young guys running a scout team.
Just before the show, you mentioned to me that you guys are putting in some extra time this week because, again, you're facing a little bit of a different type of offense, a different look, the wing T here from the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Snyder and Coach LaPalme-Bauer, and they've been running for a long time, and they're one of the best that I know in the state of doing that, and they're really, really well coached, and they're good players, so it's a great combination for them. That's why they're win a lot of football games. But we feel like we got to be able to address all the things they do, and it's to get the scout team to run that again, it's difficult.
So the Tigers, as you said, having a successful season, 5 wins, just 1 loss for Truman so far this year, and that loss came against the Golden Hawks of Council Rock South. What do you do to get prepared for the wing T? I know we've talked a little bit on our broadcast how you do like the empty ball drill when you're trying to match up with an opponent that's going to run the option.
Right.
Similar kind of situation where everybody has a responsibility, and you just got to stick with that responsibility. Pretty
much. We talk a lot about eye discipline, getting your eyes right. Don't play hoagie ball and chase the football with your eyes, but get specific keys and learn how to react to that key. And if you get your eyes right, you should be good.
Coach, I want you to define hoagie ball for us here on the Dan McShane Coaches Show.
I've never done that before.
It's a term that do you use that sometimes when you're talking to your guys. Say, come on, stay away from the hoagie ball.
Yeah, we do, and I guess it's
Is it like street ball?
I'm sure. Yeah, it's just kind of like
undisciplined.
Yeah, just run around, chase the ball. In soccer, they refer to it as like beehive ball when everybody's just chasing the ball. And at the higher levels of football, the more you do that, the more you get yourself in trouble. So
we're getting set for the Pennsbury Falcons and the Harry S. Truman Tigers. We're going to step aside. When we return, we'll take a look at some of the stars from last week's game, both on the offensive and defensive sides of the ball, and continue to get you ready. We'll talk about some of the guys on the Truman Tigers that you have to be ready for here tonight as the Falcons homecoming night. And your third homecoming, always great to have that tradition. Kind of takes you back to when you played, or is it? I mean, for a head coach, it's just another game.
No, it's not at all. I mean, it's really the community coming out, and they pretty much come out for everything. But there's a little special extra energy on homecoming night, and big crowd in the stands. The town kind of shuts down, comes out and watches the game, and it's a great atmosphere. And I actually think the weather's going to cooperate this Friday night too.
Hey, we're getting it cranked up here. High school football on WBCB. We continue with the Dan McShane Coaches Show right after this.
The ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute is redefining care in Center City and South Jersey. And our 50,000 square foot location on ARIA Health's Bucks campus in Langhorne features private rooms, free parking, and nearby hotels. With over a century of experience, the world-class 3Bs, Doctors Booth, Bartolozzi, Balderston, and their partners personally guide you from treatment through recovery. For all your orthopedic needs, call 1-888-ORTHO-3B or visit aria3bortho.org. At the ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute, you come first.
If you are looking for a car, where do you go? Faulkner Auto Group at 4427 Street Road in Trevose is where to go for the best deals in Bucks County for all your new pre-owned cars, trucks, or SUVs. Go to Faulkner Auto Group. It's always Faulkner, to be sure. Go online to faulknerautogroup.com. Just remember, it's Faulkner, to be sure, for all your new cars or trucks. 4427 Street Road in Trevose. Faulkner, to be sure.
Hi, Merrill Reese to tell you about our good friends at the Revere Ristorante Italiano in nearby Ewing Township at 802 River Road. I can tell you that from South Philadelphia to New York's Mulberry Street, there's no better Italian cuisine than that served at the Revere. Start your meal with one of their great appetizers or salads. Entrees include outstanding veal dishes, fresh seafood daily, excellent steaks and chops, homemade pasta dishes, daily specials, and much more. You can also enjoy their bar area, where on most weekends, entertainment is offered. The Revere also does off-premise catering, and you can accommodate private parties for any affair, including business functions. Call the Revere Ristorante Italiano for more information and reservations at 609-882-6365. 882-6365. The Revere Ristorante Italiano open Monday through Friday for lunch and 7 days for dinner at 802 River Road, right off the Wilbertha Road exit on Route 29. In nearby Ewing Township.
Don't forget, if you miss any of your local high school sports action, you can read all about it in tomorrow's edition of the Trentonian. For your complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at thetrentonian.com. The only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian.
The Pennsbury Falcons, a fun team to watch, and Coach McShane, you guys always have a little something in the back pocket. This past game against the Ben Salem Owls, it was a pass from Drew Henser to Sean Miles, kind of a backwards pass, which allowed Miles to throw down into the end zone and hit Jason Cook. A little razzle-dazzle, but just in general, you guys throw the football, you run the football. Always seems like you're trying to catch the other guys, off guard. I mean, I guess that goes without saying, but a lot of guys, you talk about the old ground and pound kind of approach, 4 yards and a cloud of dust, and kind of the opposition knows what you're going to do. It seems like you certainly try to mix it up.
Yeah, and I guess they know what we're going to do, and we're going to be diverse. We're going to between run and pass, and Coach Bell and the offensive staff do a great job. He's going to program into his play sheet, certain number of specials that week that we can run. We're always trying to get explosive plays in our offense. And I think we've been fairly successful at that. And there's some funny plays and funny names that we have for them, and so it's always now. Sometimes like we ran out, I'm like, oh, that looks like it's going to drop backwards pass, fumble, and here he catches it and throws a beautiful ball down the field. So every now and then it works.
Yeah, you got to watch out for those backwards passes, but when it works, it's a thing of beauty, and that was pretty awesome. 2 touchdown receptions for Jason Cook. He's really coming along, and Sean Miles, again, you mix him into the offense and show a little bit more of his versatility. That was certainly his first touchdown pass of his football career, right?
Yeah, it was. And, you know, he's a weapon. Like, you know, we've handed him the ball off. He's thrown the ball. We've thrown him the ball. He's a big, strong kid. He likes contact. So he's not like going to go down there and step out of bounds. He's going to try to run people over. So he's a major weapon for us.
You just never know what you're going to see from this Pennsbury offense. How about some wheel routes from Eddie Dualu coming out of the backfield last week? Had 65 yards catching the football for you guys. That was not something that I had seen in the first 5 games, and worked very well for you.
Yeah, you know, if we get the right coverage, and we felt we had it, and again, Coach Bell does a great job of anticipating that and putting the kids in, a position to be successful. And maybe the last time we ran it might have been the wood scrimmage or something like that, where we felt like it was going to be man-to-man. We liked, linebackers versus running backs coming out, and we got a little bit of a picking action, and Drew put the ball, we protected it, and Drew put the ball in the money, and Eddie did the rest. Drew
Henser continues to develop, and some kind of turnover issues early in the season. You guys have taken care of the football much better of late. You came away with 3 turnovers in this last game against Ben Salem, a couple of fumble recoveries and an interception. Those turnovers are such a big point when you're talking about winning or losing a game.
Always, and it's funny, I had a conversation with Ben Salem kids back at school, and we got talking about, and I said they were on a little bit of a kind of roll and moving the ball, and then but we've seen on tape a number of times where there's inevitably some type of poor exchange between the center and the quarterback when they're in the pistol alignment, or some type of fumble where they're doing that triple option read, and they're trying to read one guy with 2, and the one guy thinks he's getting the ball, the quarterback thinks he's pulling it, and next thing you know, the ball's on the ground. And so it's turnovers are huge, and it's nice to see us get a couple.
Brady Bergfechtel, your kicker, doing a nice job, 7 for 7 with extra points in that game, and it seems like all of his kickoffs are going deep and sailing high down to like the 10-yard line. Any instruction for your kicker in tonight's game to maybe stay away from DeAndre Winton, some of the dangerous return guys for Harry S. Truman?
Absolutely. We're not going to put the ball in those type of hands. And maybe again, we're going to do a little bit of everything. That's one of our expressions is sometimes we can put the ball in his hands and we'll cover it. Other times we do other things. So it's always a little bit of everything. So Brady's been kind of doing a great job working with Coach Cooper down in Berlin, New Jersey. He's a former kicker at Temple, and he goes down there and he invests in himself, and he's getting stronger leg. He's eating peanut butter and jellies and chocolate milk, and he's starting to hit the ball higher and deeper. But he's also learning all the specialty kicks that are in between the high and deeps. There's medium, shorts, and we have all kinds of locations we want to put the ball in.
The power of chocolate milk. Yeah, Suburban 1 League now.
One of my favorites.
Wide open for you guys. At least
everybody
you
else.
Control your destiny, as do a lot of other teams. Makes this game even have a more significance. Truman 2-1 in the league, and you can drop them to 2-2, and they could drop you to 2-2 as well, or excuse me, 2-1. You guys right now 2-0 in the league, but Suburban 1, as you said, it's anybody's game right now, up for grabs.
Yeah, I think one of my assistant coaches referred to it as a double elimination tournament at this point, and where we're kind of on the edge of it, where like a Truman might be able to get away with it, or like Rock South, in the Chamonix. So it's kind of, we keep on saying we're going to find out what we're made of the next couple of weeks.
Well, you guys put yourselves in a little bit of a hole with an 0-3 start, but you look at the team right now. It was a young team coming into the season, Coach. Where do you see improvement with this team? Truman, kind of a similar team maybe to Academy Park or Penwood. How have you guys improved to, and those are 2 teams that you guys had a lead in the fourth quarter but lost to early in the season. Do you see similarities between those 2 teams, and how have you guys improved to take care of business?
Yeah, well, you're saying similarities between Truman versus all the speed, the explosiveness. Right. Yeah, for sure. Believe it or not, I actually called the coach from Academy Park the other day, and we requested another 2-year deal. We're waiting to hear, and Penwood too. It's great competition. They're going to win a lot of games, and so we want to go against that style. That's what we're going to see down the line if you ever play Coatesville. So, but yeah, we feel like we definitely for sure on the offensive side of the ball we've gotten better and better and better. Defense, we were still kind of waiting. It got a little bit better, and so when you give up 13 points ago, it got a lot better. But still, there was a lot more room for improvement.
Let's talk about that side of the football a little bit, and some of the guys who had big days against Ben Salem. Zach Zauzig seemed like he really had kind of a coming out game where he had a sack, was involved in a lot of tackles, and when he's out there and he's able to get pressure on the quarterback, are you guys blitzing in those situations?
Ben Salem, I don't think we blitzed at all. We might around maybe 2 or 3 where a lot of times in the game we'll run 12, 13 blitzes. But Zach's got a great motor. He reminds me of an ex-player we had here named Joe Maurer. I keep on drawing Zach into Zach. We moved from linebacker to defensive end because of the Maurer effect, and we think he could be that type of player. He's a strong kid. He's intelligent. And we feel like, he's getting better and better.
I mean, Sam Burke continues to be a guy who's all over the field for you, making a ton of tackles from that linebacker spot.
Yeah, he's done good.
I mean, just talk a little bit about how
Sure.
he's developed throughout this season. I mean, you were expecting big things from him coming into the year, and he's been able to deliver maybe some missed tackles earlier in the season, things tightening up a little bit. You see...
Yeah, same thing. He's gotten better and better. We had some concerns earlier about him trying to do too much, which is a nice problem to have. I mean, so it's the classic
trying to do too much, or you're over pursuing to the football. That type of thing.
We said really successful people are not, they don't do extraordinary things, but they do ordinary things consistently, and we just ask for Sam to be more consistent in what he's doing. He'll make the occasional 9-yard tackle for loss, and I said, I don't mind a 1-yard tackle for loss either, just be consistent. So that's what we're asking from him.
So when you look at the Truman Tigers, is this a team that you want to try to bring some pressure and be a little bit more aggressive on the defensive side of the football, and is that zone defense or zone blitzes where you're blitzing to kind of stop the run sometimes with this team and the wing tee in general?
Well, it's not a secret. We're an 8-man front defense. Pretty much like TCU, Virginia Tech style. 8-man, we're going to kind of gang up on the run, and if we get you in 3rd and long, then we'll start to we'll either play pass or we'll start to bring zone pressures and zero pressures. And it's no secret giving away the game plan there. But the key against these guys is to get them off schedule, because they're very confident in their run offense, and if they get to 4th and 5, they'll anywhere in the field they'll think serious about going for it, because they're that confident in their people up front and the guys running it. And then you add in the explosive ability. So you got to play man-to-man against a team like that. You want to have a lot of eyes on the ball. So it's going to be more zone concepts, which we play primarily.
So you just kind of want to stay like base and
build a fence. Keep them inside the fence. And great team defense. Support each other. Outside guys pushing outside in, guys pushing inside out. Just front the ball up and stop it. We don't need I think our kids trying sometimes too hard. They're trying to get as I say, a 99-yard tackle for loss when all we need is a 1-yard tackle for loss.
Well, as you guys take on these Truman Tigers, a lot of guys you got to build a fence around. A lot of skill position guys, Javier Peterson, Jerome Rogers, and their quarterback, Dylan Snelling. He's got a ton of experience. I mean, he's been with the program for a while, and seems like we've been calling his name as their signal caller now for quite some time. And he's probably seen, a lot of what you're going to throw at him, and that somebody who you have to kind of, I don't know, maybe give him something he hasn't seen before. A quarterback with experience, you have to be a little bit more creative in your approach.
I'd imagine what he hasn't seen before is he's been in some really comfortable situations as far as down and distance. If we get them in 3rd and longs, then it becomes, we become a very different team on defense and things that he hasn't seen. We actually got together them during the summer, and 7-on-7 work, and we played a real vanilla version of our pass defense. We're going, now we got the whole package, and so there will be things in there he hasn't seen.
So you get together with the team 7-on-7s before the season, some connections coaching-wise. Mike LaPalambera, their head coach, and of course Galen Snyder, former head coach of Pennsbury, is with the Truman Tigers right now. Last week I talked about Ben Salem, and you had coached there before. This is almost like a closer rivalry between you guys as far as the coaching staffs are concerned?
Yeah, I mean, it's nip and tuck. I mean, for sure, we're all good friends, and we've been through a lot of wars together, ups and downs, and mostly ups, actually. Coach Snyder won a lot of football games, and that's the reason why he's over there with El. And, El's got a great way of, with the kids, of kind of keeping them settled. And Galen's going to, it's kind of good cop, bad cop sometimes. So they're a great match over there, and I'm sure they know a lot about what we do, and we know a lot about what they do, and and it comes down to the players at that point.
Right. Well, I mean, is that somewhere where you want to try to stick with kind of who you are? You want to go outside of, give them something they don't expect, or you just got to stay true to yourself?
For sure. I mean, we're gonna do what we do. It's funny. We sit in a room, we draw it up on the board. There's 17 different ideas, and all of a sudden we always circle back to just do what we do.
Well, we're going to get right back to doing what we do here on WBCB. The Dan McShane Coaches Show continues. We'll be right back taking a closer look at the Truman Tigers. They are Pennsbury's homecoming opponent, and we got the game for you here on your station in Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties. We're right back with more after this.
The Gator, Jerry Blavitt here, to tell you to tune us in every weekday afternoon from 3 to 5 p.m. right here at WBCB 1490 AM and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com. And it's brought to you by the Italian People Bakery and the deli at 63 Butler Street in the Chambersburg section of Trenton, and also in Levittown at Woodburn and Oxford Valley Roads, and where all baking is done on the premises at both stores.
Peruzzi Nissan is the home of the 3495 Pennsylvania State Inspection and Admission, and is your full-service automotive facility for all makes and models, regardless of where you purchased your car. Air conditioner tune-up for just $79.95 at Peruzzi Nissan. Buy 3 tires at Peruzzi Nissan and get the 4th one free, plus free alignment checks. Have your car looking showroom new with a value detail package for just $64.95 and a full detail package for only $179.95. Peruzzi Nissan Service, Business Route 1, Fairless Hills, where our business is you.
Achieving what you want demands the right game plan. When you team up with PNC, you get the tools and know-how you need to get where you want to go. Whether it's buying a new home, sending your kids off to college, or retiring the way you want, PNC is here ready to help you achieve your financial goals. To discover all the ways PNC can help, stop by any branch or visit PNC.com. PNC for the achiever in you. PNC Bank, member FDIC. Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and since 1986, McCaffrey's Supermarket has been a real supermarket experience and a very proud member of our community. Through good times and bad times, Jim McCaffrey and his family have been there to assist our neighbors when they needed help, whether it's helping flood victims, raising funds for the American Cancer Society, or supporting the local Little League teams. You can count on McCaffrey's to be there. McCaffrey Supermarkets, 635 Heacock Road in Yardley, in the village of Newtown, at 2890 South Eagle Road, and also in Princeton and West Windsor.
Homecoming tonight for the Pennsbury Falcons as they take on the Harry S. Truman Tigers. We're here with head coach Dan McShane. So, Coach McShane, a lot of skill position guys, Javier Peterson, a threat. What have you told your guys defensively about how you guys are going to match up with, some bruising backs and some electric skill position people?
Don't get beat. Now, we talk to our kids all the time about what they do well in the pass game and what they what they don't really do well, and so we're going to again, it's the kind of like the statistical concession. What are you willing to give up, and what are you willing to give? And so our to be a smart football player and understand that kid's more likely to run by than he is to run a 9 to 12 yard out or something like that. And if it happens, we'll adjust. But again, we just want to kind of just build a wall, build a fence, whatever you want to call it, and just keep everybody inside of it. Don't be a hero. Make simple plays, make ordinary plays consistently.
So when you're talking about don't get beat, going to provide some help for your cornerbacks in a lot of situations to maybe have some safeties, also making sure that nobody's getting behind the defense. Avoid the big plays was something we've talked about here on the show. Yeah,
for sure, many times. Again, a little bit of everything. I think we're going to give the corner more help than not. But there's going to be times he's going to be on an island and let them guess with it, and we hope to kind of they guess wrong most of the time, and we should be good to go.
How have you guys been doing as far as conditioning is concerned? Another week of practice comes on, and it seems like when you're facing a team like Truman, that running attack, it can start to take a toll in the third and fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter of this last game, kind of nice that you guys were able to work in Sabo, and Louis Seppi was able to take some snaps, and that gives your program guys, I think a nice reward for being sacrificing all their time, and allows you to look at some of those young guys. But a game like this game seems like in the fourth quarter it's still going to be grinding down. I mean, we'll see what happens tonight, but I just anticipate a dogfight between these two teams. And that being the case, how would you assess how your team is ready to go from a physical perspective?
Well, simple expression, it's all hands on deck. We may have bring some people from the offensive side. We don't have a whole lot of we don't have any two-way players. Like a kid who plays 55 downs on each side of the ball. But so we feel good. They have a couple. We think that we can run the ball and hold the ball pretty long too. So we feel like if we and then we also got some tempo, which if you get some of the guys out in the field stuck out there and they're gassed, it could be an issue for them. We saw Ben Salem kind of start, the hands on the thighs type of thing and gasping for air, and our kids are. Well, we snap the ball a lot in practice, and so we don't really do conditioning at the end of practice. We'll lift weights and all, but some coaches will line up in sprints for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and we don't do that. Our sprints are in practice.
Expand a little bit, Coach, if you would, on your philosophy of tempo, because I know a lot of traditional football people, they expect to see everybody huddle up after every play, and kind of a more modern look at the game is to try to run as many offensive plays as possible. You just want to try to keep them from substituting? What are some of the reasons why you like to play that up-tempo style?
There's a couple. Nowadays, you're allowed to sub back if I guess the rules allow them to sub back if you sub. So that's kind of been diminished, the effect of that. But we feel like number one, it creates, as they refer to, is defensive tension. So the expression has been like it's like football Russian roulette. You don't know when the gun's going to go off. We may line up on the ball and snap it. We may line up on the ball and not snap and try to draw you offside. We may line up on the ball and not snap and see what you're trying to do. So it's sometimes if we snap the ball early, we may just run on track, and no matter where you're lined up, we're just going to try to pick everybody off. So that's a lot of the reason behind it. Sometimes you can be on the ball as a defensive lineman. You're out there for a long time, and all of a sudden your hands in the dirt for. If the referee, it takes 12 seconds to mark it ready, and we're ready to snap within the next 2 seconds, all of a sudden your hands in the dirt for an additional 25. You're going to be down there saying, when they're going to snap it, when they're going to snap it, when they're going to snap it. So it creates tension.
Creates tension on the defensive line. Also requires kind of a more athletic offensive lineman in order for them to hold that stance a little bit more, or at least be, ready to.
We use the expression "hold your water." So it's there's times where we're going to hard count and pretend we're snapping it again, or there's times we just kind of. But they know. But the psychological effect of when a defense said they don't know when the ball's going to be snapped. If you're an offensive lineman and the ball's going to be snapped on a long count, we're pretty much oftentimes in a 2-point stance, so you can kind of put your hands on your thigh boards a little longer and but then gear up for the snap that's coming. Where it's just it's a lot of psychological effect too of they don't know when the ball is going to be snapped.
Well, we're having some fun with Falcon football here on WBCB, now even at 3 wins and 3 losses, and you just never know what Dan McShane might pull out here, and what the I guess your offensive coordinator is the guy who
I still don't
you
know.
give credit to.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best I've been around. So he's a sharp guy, and he works his butt off, and we've reaped the benefits of that.
We're minutes away from kickoff. Thanks again to Coach McShane for being with us for the Dan McShane Coaches Show here on WBCB. The Falcons and Harry S. Truman doing battle tonight. It's homecoming, and we've got the game for you on your station in Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer Counties high school football here on WBCB.